Welcome to the Explainer. So if you're a business leader or an IT professional, you already know that choosing between Microsoft 365 and Google Workspace, well, it's no longer just a simple email and documents comparison, right? Over the last 18 months or so, both of these massive platforms have raised their list prices, and honestly, the rules of engagement have completely changed. It's no longer about blind platform loyalty. Today, it's all about aligning your tech stack with your actual day-to-day operational reality. $21. That is the standard monthly add-on price for Microsoft Copilot per user. And I want to highlight this because it's a single number that completely shatters that old illusion of base price comparisons against Google. You simply cannot compare the entry-level sticker prices of these two tech giants anymore without factoring in exactly how they are monetizing artificial intelligence.
To help you navigate this, here is our agenda for today. We'll be looking at the 2026 pricing reality, the hidden migration trap, 5 steps for smarter choices, real-world SMB scenarios, and finally, making your decision.
Okay, let's jump right into Section 1, the 2026 pricing reality.
As I mentioned, both platforms have raised their list prices recently. But what you really need to understand is how they're treating AI integration, because they're doing it in fundamentally different ways. Google Workspace bundles their Gemini AI into every single business plan at literally no extra charge. Microsoft, on the flip side, treats Copilot as a premium add-on. Think about it. If you add that $21 standard price to a Microsoft 365 Business Standard seat, your effective cost jumps way past Google's AI-inclusive tier.
Moving on to Section 2, the hidden migration trap.
This brings up the absolute biggest mistake we see decision makers make when shopping around. Let's say your organization is already deeply entrenched in an ecosystem. Maybe you heavily rely on Teams, SharePoint, and Intune. The sheer effort to migrate all that data, rebuild your workflows, and retrain your entire staff, that will easily dwarf any cumulative license savings you might get over a 3-year horizon. Moving away from your current platform just to save a few bucks a month is a total mathematical illusion. The cost of that disruption is huge.
Which brings us to Section 3, 5 steps for smarter choices.
Because of those hidden traps, we need a better, much more structured way to decide. You absolutely cannot make this choice based on a headline price. So our main focus for this explainer is to give you 5 steps for smarter software choices, designed specifically to cut through the marketing noise. If you work through these criteria in this exact order, you're going to determine your true operational fit and dodge those massive hidden costs. Okay, step 1 is what we call ecosystem gravity. Basically, where does your team already live? If your staff relies heavily on complex desktop Excel macros, or if you tightly manage Windows devices, Microsoft's gravity is inescapable. It just renders and edits more reliably in native apps. But if your team basically lives in web browsers, if they rely on simultaneous real-time document editing, and they use mixed hardware like Chromebooks, well, then Google is an incredibly frictionless fit.
Step 2 is your AI strategy. You've got to decide your AI posture before you even glance at base prices. Do you want AI capabilities deployed across your entire team? If the answer is yes, Google's bundled Gemini makes it significantly cheaper per seat. However, if you only want to equip a handful of specific power users with AI, Microsoft's approach actually works in your favor. It lets you selectively license that Copilot add-on rather than paying an AI premium for every single person in the company.
Step 3 is security and compliance. You need to map out your exact regulatory obligations, think GDPR in Europe or HIPAA in the US. In this arena, Microsoft 365 Business Premium is an absolute powerhouse. It bundles Intune, Defender for Business, and Conditional Access all together, which delivers incredible built-in security depth at its price point. To get similar advanced compliance controls on Google, you'll often find yourself having to step all the way up to their enterprise tiers.
Step 4 covers your organization's size and growth. Now, both platforms cap their small business plans at 300 users, but there's a massive catch here you need to watch out for. Google applies this 300 user cap as a combined limit across its tiers. Microsoft, on the other hand, has a hard 300 user ceiling for its business plans. The exact second you cross that line, Microsoft forces all of those users onto an expensive enterprise pricing tier simultaneously. It creates a very steep overnight cost jump.
And finally, step 5, total cost of ownership, or TCO. We're talking real costs, not list prices. That base subscription is often just a fraction of your real spend. For Microsoft, the base price is frequently only 50 to 60% of your actual cost once you start tacking on Teams Phone, meeting room licenses, compliance tools, and Copilot. But hey, Google isn't immune to add-ons either. For instance, Google Voice isn't included in base plans, and that adds around $10 per user per month. You really have to build a full 3-year model to see the true numbers. And that leads us to a pretty stark warning from industry practitioners. They consistently tell us switching purely to chase a lower sticker price is a losing move for integrated SMBs. Seriously, do not switch just to dodge a recent price increase. Hitting cost parity alone absolutely does not justify the immense disruption to your staff. You should only ever change platforms when your core business strategy genuinely demands it.
Let's look at Section 4, Real-World SMB Scenarios. Let's put this 5-step framework to the test in practice, shall we? First up, imagine a 40-person UK marketing agency. They run on Chromebooks, they do heavy real-time client collaboration on shared documents, and they have absolutely zero legacy Microsoft Office dependencies. For a team like this, Google Workspace Business Standard is the obvious winner. AI is completely included for their drafting needs, and the browser-native workflows mean zero friction for their team.
Now let's contrast that with a 120-person U.S. financial services firm. They have strict Windows fleet management needs, intense regulatory compliance requirements, and their day-to-day operations revolve heavily around Teams. For them, Microsoft 365 Business Premium is the undisputed champion. The natively included Intune and Defender easily carry their heavy compliance load without forcing them to shell out for top-tier E5 enterprise pricing.
And finally, consider a 25-person Australian consultancy. They're currently running on Google Workspace, but they are super tempted to switch to Microsoft just to get access to Copilot. Based on our framework, their move is crystal clear. Stay put. The massive hidden costs of migrating all their data and retraining their staff will completely outweigh the marginal benefits of Copilot. This is especially true since their current Google plan already includes Gemini for all their routine tasks.
All right, bringing it home with Section 5, making your final decision. Before we wrap up today, we want you to be able to evaluate your own tech stack right now. So here's your action plan. First, pull an admin usage report and audit your current seats. Trust me, both platforms will happily keep billing you for inactive users. Getting rid of those dead licenses can instantly cut 5 to 15% of your spend before you even try to negotiate. Second, check your exact renewal timing. You might actually be able to lock in current pricing if you act early. And finally, always model your 3-year TCO in your local currency, making sure to factor in those AI parity costs we discussed earlier. I'm going to leave you with this thought to ponder as you look at your own organization. Are you sticking with your current platform out of mere habit? Are you thinking about switching just to dodge a headline price hike? Or is your software truly aligned with how your business actually operates today? Run those 5 steps, calculate the real costs, and let your core business strategy make the final call. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.